TexasFootball.com/state is where you can find all things for the Texas High School Football State Championship games. Pretty fun stuff there. So we'll see you all at AT&T Stadium this week. Want to mention one thing I had to read that you wanted me to do before I get there. Hold on. There's a read I was supposed to do. Here it is. Ready? In 3, 2, 1.
Really?
This next segment of DCTF Live brought to you by the Texas Association of Realtors. Make the smart move and get a Texas Realtor. Go to texasrealtors.com. Max, the 12 Texas High School Football State Championship games are set. We know who's going to be there. We know who we're seeing. You can find complete coverage of this at texasfootball.com/state. One thing I do want to get to, though.
Okay.
Real quick. Phil Danaher is good guy, friend of the program.
He is.
Good guy, the all-time winningest coach.
He's
in
a lot
Texas
of fun
high
to
school
talk to,
history.
I'll say that
of course,
much,
the Corpus Christi Calallen stalwart guy who has won more games than anyone in Texas high school football history. Apparently, we did have a conversation. You know what? Let's just roll the clip. Let's just roll the clip.
He'll explain
and he'll explain. I think he does a pretty good job. Here's Phil Danaher after their win last week over College Station.
And you know the crazy thing about it is Greg Tepper picked Calallen and Alito at the start of the year to play for the state championship. And at coaching school, first booth I walked in, I saw Dave Campbell's deal over there. I walked over and I said, I want to know who does the picking of teams around here. They all pointed at Greg, and I walked over, I said, boy, have you lost your mind? He said, what are you talking about? You got us picked to play for the state championship. We lost almost our entire defense last year, which we did. And we lost our entire offensive line except for 2 guys. The 2 guys who were back on offense is quarterback and the running back and our center and right guard. That's all we had. On defense, we had just a few. And I said, are you crazy picking us to go that far? We're rebuilding. And lo and behold, here we are. So it's a great feeling, gentlemen. It's a great feeling.
So there's a couple things there. First of all, I love how he says my last name. I'm not sure if he thinks my name. I think it might be an accent.
The more I listen to it, I think it's just the accent. I think
it sounds like Tepper,
but it sounds like Tepper.
Tepper. First of all, I want you, in front of God and everybody, to verify that is exactly what happened.
That's absolutely what happened. He's the first. He's second coach we talked to. I think we talked to Gary Joseph right before him. Speaking of a back-to-back combination.
Yeah.
Is
that coaching?
Yeah,
school?
he came up and he says, "I want to talk to Greg," and I was like, "Oh, what
no.
happened there?"
I'm going to correct you because he did say he's exactly correct because he came up and he said, "I want to know who does the picking."
Yeah, that's right. I want to know.
You like a dog with his tail between his legs, go, that guy, he does the picking, coach.
I didn't do it. I would have picked them to be last in their district.
You would not have. And so he did. He came to me, and in typical Phil Danaher fashion, he more or less said, what the hell are you doing?
Right.
Like, why are you picking us to make it to a state championship game?
We can't sneak off the radar and sneak up on teams if you do this.
I'll be honest, he's not the first coach to ever say that to me. Right. Be like, why are you doing this? Why would you pick us to win, to play for a state championship? Right. But I will also say that I think this marks the first time ever that somebody has congratulated us on a correct pick.
Yeah,
like
classy.
This is the first time ever.
And don't get us wrong, we get a lot of them wrong.
Oh my God,
we get way more of them wrong than we get right.
We have a whole summer edition full of wrong predictions.
Yeah.
But this one we did happen to get right.
Yeah.
And so appreciate Coach Danaher mentioning that.
It'll be good to see him.
It will be good to see him. It will be good to see him. So I want to ask you, Max.
Heck of a year.
I want to ask you, Max. There are 12 games. There are 12 games, and the good news is this is just a hypothetical. You get to go to all 12.
Right.
You get to go to all 12.
Right.
In fact, you get paid to go to all 12 of them. Think about that.
It's true. It's true.
I'm going to put you on the spot, though, and we're going to go to a hypothetical world. Okay?
Okay.
There is only one state championship that you get to watch. You only get to watch one game, and then you get thrown back into, I don't know, seclusion. What is your one game that you will watch? If you want, I'll do mine if you want.
It's tough. It's between 2.
Okay.
And they couldn't be more different.
Okay.
Right? Iran, Bremont.
2A Division II title game.
Right out of the way, right? I mean, Thursday morning, it'll be over before we know it, and holy cow. I think Iran's going to be the toughest team Bremont's played.
I think that's
they're
right.
Just the physicality is just really special at that level. It's going to be tough for Rashad Paul, Mr. Texas football. It's going to be really tough for him. Everything that's happened with Ira Ann, we were rooting for them in a lot of ways because we followed their story from probably June on. I talked to Coach Kierhoff over the summer for the magazine, or May, June for the magazine. He couldn't have been more excited about their bunch. That community has rallied around that team from the start, and then with everything that's happened with the tragedy the last couple of weeks now, there's going to be a lot going on in that game. That's really exciting. And on the flip side, it's all the way up to the 6AD2 game. DeSoto, man. I mean, a community that has come close so many times. So many times. And the game, I have said this the last few weeks, you can vouch for this on our Slack chats with our DCTF crew. They're a Friday Night Lights season, right?
Yeah.
They're out of way too many games and have to rally to win them for a state champion favorite, our number one ranked team. All the dynamics at play, getting off the schneid, having the chance, having the star transfer quarterback come in. I mean, this is a scripted season. It really is, and they're going up against a program who has been here. This is not a stage that phases Cibolo Steel at all. They play well at AT&T Stadium. They're going to play nasty defense. Those are the two that I'm probably, if I had to pick, I've had a hard time going back and forth. It would be tough. But
I agree with you. I think those are both great games. Those aren't my pick. Neither of them.
Okay.
Neither of them.
And I say that, I will say this, I'll preface this with 4A is my favorite. That never changes. 4A is my favorite division, conference, however, it's in the magazine. I wrote about it this summer.
One game I get to pick.
Yeah.
4 o'clock Friday, AT&T Stadium. Carthage, Abilene Wiley.
It's going to be awesome.
Okay. There's so many great storylines here. One is that these two teams are, I think, largely built the same. They're built on the same idea, which is hard-nosed defense, and it all starts with the running game. I think that those are the foundations of both of these teams. I think you've got two of the most underappreciated coaches in the state. Hugh Sandiford, Abilene Wiley, is a magician year in and year out. And what Scott Surratt has done at Carthage is outrageous. Okay? There's that. There's also the East versus West thing, which I think is super interesting. Because we've got a nice influx of West Texas teams this year, which is a lot of fun. And here you've got Abilene Wiley, the kings of the big country, going up against Carthage, who has run through that gauntlet of East Texas. And so this is kind of, in my view, a referendum on the state of East Texas football and West Texas football. I think there's a lot of broader things here. Now, I picked Carthage. I picked Carthage because I think that they've got the big playability that I'm not sure Abilene Wiley can match. Because of Case and Davis, their quarterback. I think that's the difference in this game. But the only surprise in this game would be if this is decided by more than about 9 points. This is going to be a one-possession game. I'm totally convinced of it. Two teams playing well, and these teams are going to get after it. It's going to be hard-hitting. I'm really excited about that. That'll be the one game that if I could pick one, I would pick that one. But, I mean, you can't go wrong with any of them. I think that they're all going to be fantastic games, and I'm really excited that we get to watch all of them. It's going to be fun.
Top 3 players.
Now, I'm excited to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, I always like watching Rashad.
Yeah.
I always like watching Rashad Paul, Bremen quarterback, operate. I'm excited to see him. I'm excited to see bowling quarterback Vernon Jackson.
He's kind of off the radar, right?
Off the radar.
He's very quietly been like a Rashad Light.
You know who he reminds me of, though? Because he's built differently.
He's bigger.
He reminds me of Micaiah Long from North Shore last year.
For sure.
You know what I mean? In that he's that
at
big,
a small school.
bruising running back, or running, basically a linebacker playing quarterback. But he's really hard. And at that level, 3A level, I'm really excited to see bowling quarterback Vernon Jackson. If I had to pick one more. I mean, look. I'm excited to see both quarterbacks in the 6AD1 game. I'm not going to pick because I think that you're going to see two of the best. We're going to close out the football season with two of the best quarterbacks in the state. Eric Schmid from the Woodlands has been just tremendous. Charlie Brewer's playing outside his mind.
Absolutely.
I think that those are the two guys that are, for me, I'm really excited to see. So I picked 4. I picked 4 guys that I'm most looking forward to. What about you? Give me 3 guys.
Taquan Graham.
Defensive end from Temple.
Temple defensive end has been awesome, and this is a moment, right?
Yeah.
This is a moment. I think that's an offensive line that he can do some things against. I think it could be a lot of fun. We don't get a ton of huge defensive performances. I think there's a situation there where we might get that.
Yeah. Well, when you go back. I mean, to draw on that as well. Like, I'm excited to see Josh Crosland, the defensive lineman. Actually, that whole steel front seven. Yeah. Plus Caden Stearns in the secondary. Yeah. I mean, they've been fantastic.
Dion Noble and Abilene Wiley.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see those guys.
Yeah, that's a big one. Keontae Ingram.
Yeah, running back from Carthage.
Got to see him. You know, we've heard so much about how great he is, but we haven't actually gotten to see him in person. I'm really excited about that. I'm excited to see the Ira Ann offense in person. Right.
I am too.
We've read about, we've seen pictures, we've seen video of how this is a sort of historically big, built for the trenches kind of 2A D2 team. We've seen some 2A D2 games this year. We saw Munster and thought, wow, these guys are big. These guys are physical. You know, Monday knocked them out 2 rounds ago.
Yeah.
So, and we've seen Bremont. We've seen Albany. You know, these are teams that we're used to seeing. So I'm really excited to see what the Siran team looks like. I'm excited to see what kind of crowd they bring. Who from West Texas shows up just because.
That's another thing.
Yeah.
So that's going to be fun. So it's weird from an attendance perspective, like Allen not being there hurts because that's the biggest school in the state and they're also down the road. That hurts. But I think everybody's going to travel well, and I think that you make up for not having the biggest school in the state with a lot of other things. First of all, I think a lot of South Dallas is going to unload to AT&T Stadium to watch DeSoto.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a lot there. I think Temple's going to bring a huge crowd Friday morning or Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
Huge crowd.
They always do.
Calallen, I think, is going to bring a giant crowd.
We talked about
Calallen Alito might be the most attended game.
It's possible. We talked about this when this whole thing happened over the summer with Coach Danaher. We saw and we were like, well, if they do that, if they do make it there, I mean, the whole Coastal Bend will come with them.
Exactly.
You know.
The other thing about it is that I think Friday could be a huge day for attendance. You started off with West Orange Stark, who travels pretty well.
They travel great.
They got a good
and
fan
they're
base
going for history here. Yeah.
Against Sweetwater.
Oh my Lord.
And those people are nuts.
Tradition rich. Yeah.
Those people are actually nuts.
Yeah.
Like.
Can they bring the Mustang Bowl with them?
Like they're crazy people. And I mean that in the nicest way because they're my people.
Right.
But they're crazy people.
Do we need to get someone from there to bring Big Boy Barbecue?
Oh, God, can they? Okay, so there's that. That's the noon game.
Right.
Then, 4 o'clock, Abilene Wiley. And it's not just going to be Wiley fans, okay? Yeah. That's going to be most of Abilene.
Yeah, the big country's coming.
Coming west. Yeah. Or coming east, rather.
I mean, those are back-to-back big country games. I mean, the Sweetwater people will stay.
Against Carthage.
Yeah.
Who's got this big, crazy fan base as well.
Yeah.
They're coming into town.
Yeah.
And then that night, Alito, down the street, big fan base, against Calallen, and as we mentioned, bringing the whole Coastal Bend with them. Incredible stuff. I think Friday has a chance to have giant attendance at AT&T Stadium. Let's see. All right. I'm going to put you on the spot. We'll go for one more question, and then we'll wrap it up. Give me one bold prediction for the state championship games.
I think, you know what I noticed in the previews? It's not one bold prediction, but I do think Step and I talked about this, and you and I have talked about this in the past. It's tough in title games to pick big margins. Right. You sit there and go, they made it this far. Both teams could win.
I'll give you a perfect example.
Yeah.
Perfect example is that I think that West Orange Stark's a pretty big favorite over Sweetwater. Right. But at the same time, Sweetwater's here.
Right.
Like they're obviously like one of at least the 3 best teams in their class.
Right.
So even though this West Orange Stark defense has given up 63 points all year, like would it be a surprise if Sweetwater put up? I mean, it would be a stunner if they put up like 25, but like they might because they're of course a state finalist.
Bold prediction. You know what? The weirdest one I would probably lean. The one I've been thinking about a lot, and it's funny because this was my preseason title pick. They're still my title pick. I'm riding with Mineola, but we are on the verge of a 4-loss team winning a state title. And
with Yoakum.
That game's a Yoakum. That's a 50-50 game.
It is.
And
That's
it
a coin
shouldn't
flip.
be.
That's a coin flip.
A 4-loss team in a title game should not be a coin flip with the other team. The way they're playing right now, the way the matchups work, I think it works in Yoakum's favor.
All right.
That's we could have a 4-loss team as a state champion. I think that's really interesting.
Here's my bold prediction.
Uh-oh.
Ready for this?
Okay.
One game, at least one game,
Okay.
will top 100 points. I'm not talking 6-man, 11-man. I'm talking 11-man.
You know what? I hope so, because we didn't get the offense last year like we normally do.
I think I think there's a fair chance that Lake Travis in the Woodlands gets up and up and up. Maybe not 100 points, but I think there's a fair chance there's a shootout.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
I think that Bremond Ira Ann has a chance to get up.
That's possible.
I think Gunter and Bowling has a chance to get up.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Like, there's a couple of games that I could see getting crazy town banana pants.
Yeah.
So I'll make that bold prediction. I'll say one game we get more than 100 points in it.
Yeah.
100 combined points.
I'd feel better about it if some of these matchups, though, I just don't feel like they're set up for it. Like Calallen, Alito is probably not going to be a
because that's the thing. For
game.
Calallen, like
They've gotta slow things down.
I don't think this is breaking news, but I think Callan's an underdog here.
Right.
Callan's an underdog, and if they get down 21, like that's bad news for them because they're not built to chase. They're not built to chase. They've got to play.
They're built to plod.
They're built to plod.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
So for me, that's my bold prediction. I agree with that. I'm excited that we get to see all these different offenses. Okay.
Yeah.
We get to see
A lot of styles.
wing tee from Calallen. We get to see the split back veer from Crawford. We get to see these kind of pro style offenses from Carthage.
Yeah.
We get to see kind of more multiple one back stuff from like Abilene Wiley.
Yeah. A lot of good stuff.
I'm excited. It should be a lot of fun. So it's all going to go down at AT&T Stadium this weekend.